You can't step to my group, so don't try it. You can't burn with my pipe, so don't light it. Let's see you dance, sucker. You got nothing on me.
We are back for a return to form the KingOhger with all the green screen shenanigans and shakeups. But just when you thought that the crossover was over, the special just keeps on going. So let's vamala for this week's KingOhger. Looks like Toei got my memo about the world issues because this time the Kings return to a world that finally looks like their own. But not if Lord Dragon and his vicious insectivores have anything to say about it. So, let's take the plunge back to Earth, where they land rockily fine. So I guess with the Kings back in town, it's time to walk amongst the... And they're stoned. So, what the hell just happened? Well, Shugadam citizens have been blinged out, gorged out, and spoiled via his royal Amberhead, who's a total jerk, but now everyone loves him. All this because the Kings were gone for 6 months. That's right, time dilation. See, Yanma gets it. Dippin' Dots raises the stakes and promises the citizens that whoever catches as a king gets to be one. And off they go. Wait, no one's going after Jeremy and Rita. Not royal enough for them? Himeno's not liking that the bling that they're rocking comes from Ishibana, and such a luxury item just drives up people's greed. While Deboski overhears someone name drop Suzume, who thinks she might have gone back to the castle now that it's back. Oh yeah, so Jeremy and Rita do get spotted, except it's not just from Hat Guy and friends, but Bugs too. See, they also want some of that royal upgrade. So with the haterade on max, it's time to squash some bugs. But wait, Yanma reverse engineered and made a second King Gabbarding Caliber, allowing Gira to dual wield. Well, he technically could dual wield before if he could just use the lance, but you know, that's beyond the point. We got Jingles to use more than twice now, serving up a dino charge right up the Goldfly. But yeah, Yanma was really just using Gira as a guinea pig during this entire test run. Oh hey, it's Gira's orphan friend, who takes him back to the orphanage where the kids are too busy munching on Tofu's finest while gaming on next-gen Kasopa's software. How did everyone get all this stuff? Well, it just so happens to come from the new king, Shugo Kamen. He gave everyone in Shugadam all of this stuff for free, buying his way into the citizens' hearts since the kings left. And it's been peaceful ever since. But is Gira just gonna stand by and let another man piece all over the place? Oh, there's Fly Guy, and he's big too! Wait, is he shitting out bombs? Well, I guess it's over because they can't really transform. Kuwagon's tired after getting blasted. Oh, but wait! We've got new old toys to sell! That's right, Minatira shows up and Gira understands him, giving us the Samba Gatai of King KyoRyuger, serving us one mean dance battle that ends with the Fly getting the axe. But now that that's all done, let's check in on the castle where Suzume is indeed living it up. And she doesn't take questions from mere citizens. And Duga can't just disrespect her by talking to Gira like he's still boss man, because there's a new boss in town, and he means business. See, while they've all been away, he's taken over the world, and Kasopa is now ruled by Hillbill, Ishibana by Kamijim, Tofu by Grody, and Gokhan gets freed by Goma. Get out of here, useless. No one even remembers what your name is. I got nothing. But as the curtain draws on our kings, Shugo Kamen reveals himself to be none other than Diculous himself. With this episode of KingOhger, we get the debut Gatai of King KyoRyuger. So with that, let's talk form. I'm honestly surprised this whole thing is still CG, which makes me wonder how many more times we're actually gonna get this in the show. But Outside of its flashy moves that are completely fluid thanks to the power of CG, the combination is a bit of a role reversal on what was done with the original KyoRyuger. This time, the legs actually come on out and become new arms, in order to work with the Hachi and Kamakiri Shu gods. It looks much better than I would have thought given the bulk of the Gabutira portion, but the way it's scaled actually works well. Rating time! This episode managed to do something I was hoping would be done way earlier into the series, where I speculated that while Gira was out journeying with the other kings during the first 6 episodes, Raculus would have taken over all of their land. Instead, they played the long game and made it happen throughout the course of their crossover special. That's how you make an entrance. So for that, this episode is getting the Raculus I'm a Ranger. Hey! The time dilation shenanigans ended up playing up a vital role into the storyline for this week, since I like that they implemented the theoretical prospect of space travel and the time relative to the kings versus what happened on their planet. It seems genius that having them be away from Earth for so long managed to get Dugdead to completely 180 all of the citizens, with Raculus doing exactly what I wanted him to do for so long: full hostile takeover. I also do like that they didn't keep the charade of his Shugo common persona longer than it needed to be. But some folks may wonder, why even make a persona if they were just gonna take off the mask right away? Well, remember last time that he was presented as Raculus, he was exposed for being a dick and plummeted towards his doom. Clearly, the citizens wouldn't be so welcoming to him coming back. So the mask may be necessary in order for him to start fresh. He also doesn't appear to have been brought back via Grody, but we also know that Raculus already had the means to revive people anyway, since he did use it to bring Daigorg back way back when. But it could also be, in the most likely scenario, that he simply didn't die. And it could have been Raculus that called Dugdead over to the planet to begin with. Remember, Dugdead's been in communication with all the former kings of Shugadam. So now, with the dynamic of the original baddie of the show, I'm excited to see all the potential we got cooking up here. Especially since I do not want that redemption arc for him. Let a bad guy just be bad for bad's sake again. I want Raculus to live as a villain, die as a villain, and just remain a villain. Please no goddamn redemption. Another thing that I enjoyed about this week's episode is that the KyoRyuger of it all didn't stay with the crossover in the last 2 weeks, as we got not just Mini Tira showing up, but the King Gaburi Caliber. Now, since the Gaburi Caliber is a henshin device on its own, and they didn't announce a Memorial Edition of it yet, I'm wondering if Yama's going to use it to make some sort of upgrade for him. And if that's the case, I hope it's not for Gira. And I'd like to see Yanma rock it, but it might be another, as the other thing is that Minatira is just Gabutira, meaning he left from Prince's possession and followed the kings to their own world, which I think is the perfect plot device for Daigo and Uchi to make their return by having them show up to their planet and picking up Gabutira. See, and it just makes too much sense that with Yama making a second King Gaburi Caliber, that it could just go to Daigo and he gets a form change. See, this is the kind of seed plants with potential payoff that I live for. Now back to the Raculus hostile planet takeover, as now it seems that our kings are stripped of status and will have to work their way around freeing each of their nations. This does come back to the ongoing world trotting that KingOhger has become so known for, adding the final spin to the aspect being all these takeovers. But also, Suzume just continues to not disappoint, as you really can't tell whose side she's on and seems to flip on a dime, since she was really playing up being the evil queen. But also, with the way Daboski reacted to one of the citizens mentioning her, it makes me wonder what happened between those two over the course of the last 2 years, if anything happened. After all, she did stay in Shugadam and did not return to Tofu. But yes, those are my thoughts. What are yours? What did you think about this week's KingOhger? Raculus giving the world the D, Gabutira joining the squad, and the planet. They fixed the map. Anyway, that's it for me. Until next time, bye.